Good night. I'm your host, Heath George, and welcome to What We're Drinking. But before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and follow so you can be up to date on all our videos when they drop. Tonight, I have a lovely panel of guests because our topic is domestic violence and sexual assault. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and then we will kick the show right off. So we'll start to...
Good evening, my name is Jeanette John Baptist, and I'm a community outreach specialist for a local non-profit agency.
My name is Yuwandi Sheridan, and I'm a president for Beautifully Defined.
Ricardo Sanchez, public relation for Beautifully Defined.
All right. So, you've heard the guests, and we're also joined by Beautifully Defined tonight. And we're going to talk about domestic violence. But, guys, on this show, everybody wants to know one thing. What are we drinking? So, bartender, what are we drinking tonight? All right. Look at this drink. Now, first of all, I could make this known that my guests, they do not drink alcohol. So, but I do. So, you could see, you see how beautiful it looks? Like, there's like the shore and then like the deep ocean, right? And that's what we have tonight. So we call this the Hawaiian Blue. All right, let's toast to this. Virgins and not virgins.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's good.
Far toast.
Far toast.
Yeah, well, you gonna just diss me like that?
Boy.
And she said she gonna diss me proud too. Okay. Wow.
That's good. I like the Sprite in there.
It's nice.
So again, guys, I always say we have the best bartenders. Sometimes y'all think I'm joking, but I'm not. Again, make sure you follow our bartenders down here below. You see the link, you hear the link, you know what it's about, okay? So now guys, domestic violence, sexual assault, and all the bad stuff that comes along with it. So before I even get into it, let's describe what domestic violence is.
Okay, domestic violence is a pattern of behavior, of abusive behavior. The first time it happens, it might be violent, but it would not really be classified as domestic violence because it's just a one-time thing. So that would be more classified as assault.
Okay.
But when it becomes a pattern, you know, it might not be every day, it might not be every week, but there's a pattern that has been, then that makes it domestic violence.
Okay.
It happens, you have intimate partner violence, that is between people who are in a relationship. And then you have family violence, for, members of a family all living together, and they are abusive to each other. We have...
Each other?
To each other, yeah, brother, mother, father, son.
So it's like one big Mortal Kombat in the house?
One big unhappy family.
Yeah.
We have different types of domestic violence. We have physical, which is what everybody knows, you know, punching, kicking, blacking up the eye, pushing you, hitting you against the wall. Then you have emotional, which is also psychological, where you deal with your emotions, withholding affection, calling you names, telling you you're no good, messing with your self-esteem. All of that would be emotional abuse. Then you have sexual, which is pretty much rape, inappropriate touching, not using a condom. Who would have ever thought, huh? Cheating.
We're going to get back to that because that one is
cheating.
Interesting. Cheating.
Yes, cheating. Then we have
cheating.
Verbal, you know, calling you names. You're no good. Right. Nobody wants you. If I leave you, you ain't getting nobody. No, you ain't gonna get nobody. because I'm the only person. Isolation. Isolation really would probably come under psychological. Isolating you from your friends. Your friends are no good. You don't need them. Why you need them losers? So your family. Isolating you from your family. And so what did I say? Sexual, physical, emotional, verbal, financial. One person controls the money. The bank accounts, I have no access to the money. If everything I need, I have to come to you. You want to hear a story?
Yes, I do. But before we get into a story, we gotta take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Here at Boolchand's, we would like to commemorate our 90 years with you. Here's to the great moments, to the great adventures, to the great challenges, the good times and the bad times, to the great lessons, to the great friendships, and to the greatest love. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your life's journey. Near you, with you. Boolchand's 90 years. Thanks to you, with you.
Now, if you're on the island, you live here or you're vacationing, make sure you guys go for the best beach and island experience, Funtime Jetski and charter services right out there in Limburg Bay. They got the best deals on jet ski rentals and the best deals on charter. They take you everywhere. Water Island, St. John, Joost Van Dyke, it doesn't matter. You want to go there, they take you there. And they got the best deals right now. You follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and you make that phone call now today. And with this code that you see down here, what we're drinking, you get 10% off. So you make that call, you schedule for you and your friends for the best on-water experience that you could imagine. Make sure you guys check out Funtime Jetski and charter services. All right, and we are back. Now, just before we went to break, the story was about to come. So, I'm gonna let my guest tell us the story.
A story of financial abuse. This young lady was married to this young man. She wasn't allowed to work. She stayed home to mind the kids, which was fine. But everything she needed, she had to ask for. She didn't do the shopping. He did the shopping. So she never really touched the money.
Like she never bought food at the store?
No. Everything he bought. And so one day they were going to Woolworth. Remember Woolworth? Okay, good. And she needed some underwear. And she told him she needed some underwear. And he said to her, go get it. So, of course, she went to pick the underwear. Came back.
Wow.
You know what that means, right? He was nowhere in sight. Nowhere in sight to pay for that underwear. So all she had to do was just leave it and walk out of the store.
So why send her in the first place?
That's a way of
Control.
That's so like,
That makes sense.
people like to do stuff like that.
For real?
Yeah. That's like mind games.
That's I was told not to cuss, right? But that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Our story is about a man controlling a woman. I have one
about a woman controlling a man?
With a woman controlling a man.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I have a brethren who does work. All he does request is a Sunday to do his little car race. That'll be a problem. Why? He walking, he home, he walking, he home, he with you and the child. Why on a Sunday he can't get the half to be himself?
I don't know, did you have that conversation?
You know,
That always become a problem.
But that's controlling though.
That's the thing for me, right? it's almost like a interesting line, you know. It's like, okay, your situation, let me go back to front. Your situation, if I work it, right, and I want to go race car, whatever the case may be, right? If you have an issue with that, then is it he asking why, or she's telling him he cannot go and demands that he cannot go?
Yeah, that's.
Is it that, or is it that she doesn't want to and they have an argument about him going? Okay, it's a little tricky there.
Yeah.
Well, also,
Like if she have him
don't
by
want
the
to make
balls
friends.
and like squeezing them.
She don't want to make
So
friends.
again, that's isolation.
Yes.
That's psychological. That's psychological abuse, and it's just as bad as physical. That's isolation. So
Sure.
it's up to him to realize what it is.
And
you see-
tell her kick rocks.
The problem is that you have a child, you see, and people don't stay in relationship for the children thinking they're going to get better.
Let me give you a story.
Drink. All
My
right.
mother had 8 children, right? My father was always abusive. Every woman he's had, and he had a lot of women, he abused them. And we used to ask my mother, where are you staying? And yeah, she used to say that same nonsense that you
Okay.
just said. I don't want my children to grow up without a father. But your children are telling you leave. Eventually he left.
That's true.
Eventually he left. A lot of times, children see things. You might think that they don't see it, they don't know it, but children
They
are
do.
smart. They see, they hear, and it affects them.
That's true.
Okay, so you have to think about, and a lot of children who grew up in abusive homes turn out to be either victims or to be abusive themselves.
That's true.
So one has to think about it. Is it worth it? How am I affecting my child? What is my child learning from all of this that is going on? So it's up to her to, we said he has a
Him.
child.
Yeah.
He has a child. Yeah, he should think about it. Is this a good environment for my child? What is my child learning?
And I agree, because you only learn 2 things: to be a victim or to be an abuser.
abuser.
Because that's literally all you see.
Yeah.
You don't see love. You see one person taking blows and one person giving blows.
Yeah.
And sometimes they will say, oh, it doesn't happen in front of the children.
But they hear, they know.
They hear, they sense.
Yeah, you could sense tension in the house.
Of course, they sense. They
If-
see the bruising.
If you could sense tension at a job with people you don't spend your whole entire
That's
day
true.
with,
That's for sure.
is the people you live with?
That's true.
They see the bruises. They see children are not stupid.
They're definitely
Children
not.
know what's going on. So what you have to think. You have to think about it. Do I want my child growing up in that environment?
Okay.
What am I teaching my child?
I have a question though. Because we talking about, okay, like the fact that this person doesn't want them to go to this particular event. So where do you draw the line when it comes to like, okay, probably we need to go for counseling, or probably we need to talk to somebody about that line? Is it that deep of a problem that can't be fixed when it comes to something like that?
Well, if it's really affecting him that much,
That's what I mean.
then he would have to make a decision. Okay, do I want to fix this, or
No.
should I, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
Should
Because
I-
I
should
think
I
that
go or
most
should I
women,
stay?
why I say that is because most women don't, you know, they have issues sometimes with men going out certain places. And I don't think that, like I said, I don't think that it has to do with you want to be controlling, but cause a concern. Because I used to be like that, honestly, with my ex-husband. He used to work late in the night. And then I'm home and I'm hearing shots ringing, and I know, okay, this is around the time that he's coming home. So I concern. So I don't think that sometimes we have to kind of understand where the person is coming from, why they feel the way they feel, and have a conversation. You
But
understand?
that's a different scenario, though. Than
But,
what he's
but
talking
before we
about.
continue, right, We gotta go for a quick break and we'll be right back, okay?
Here at Boolchand's, we would like to commemorate our 90 years with you. Here's to the great moments, to the great adventures, to the great challenges, the good times and the bad times, to the great lessons, to the great friendships, and to the greatest love. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your life's journey. Near you, with you. Boolchand's 90 years. Thanks to you, with you.
All right, now we are back. And we're going to get into a very sensitive part. I want to hear a story about anyone that has been through something of actual physical or sexual abuse, and like share that, because after that I got some questions, you know. So I know you said you've been through some stuff, so I think the people want to hear like what you've been through.
Well, where do you start?
Start drinking.
Okay, so I don't think, I guess with my situation, I don't think it just always started with just the physical abuse. Of course, it started with verbal abuse, like little things he would do and say to me, of course. And I know she talked about isolation. I didn't really think about that too. He would do stuff like, you know, back then, of course, we had the phones that used to plug into the wall. So he would do stuff like hide the phone, so I wouldn't be on the phone. So when he's not there, he don't want me on the phone talking to anybody. So he would hide the phone. So I would be home, yeah. So that was one thing that I noticed. And then, like stuff like, you know, if I decided that I wanted to go out with some friends, I don't think he had an issue at first. But I think through, of course, hanging out with people, you know, his friends started to tell him stuff like, okay, why you allowing her to go out with her friends, and, you know, so then that became an issue. And then the physical abuse started. Like, you know, like, first of all, pushing me out the car. I remember him pushing me out the car one time. The car was driving.
A moving car?
Yeah. Yeah. Another time I was in a club with my friends and he literally dragged me out to the club and like just pulled me out of the club. Not by my hair or anything, I don't know, probably by my hand, just grabbed me and just pulled me. I think the club was like where Windward Passage is. They used to have a club like close there, so he kind of just pulled me to like where Griffith Park was. Had nobody there. And then it was like he would do things like he said, I remember he was like, okay, you could go, because I used to live like up at alley. So he was like, okay, you could go now. And then when I turned to walk away, he had a plywood and he hit me in the back of my head with plywood. And I was on the ground. And I literally remember like trying to like catch myself, because I was dizzy, of course, from him hitting me, and then like crawling on the ground, trying to crawl to get out to the street at least so somebody could see me. Like stuff like that he would do to me.
You found a bark across the head.
Yeah.
With a plywood.
I had a plywood on the back of my head. Yeah.
Too sober for this conversation.
Like this is something that happened. This is stuff that.
This is stuff that happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it just got worse and worse and worse. So it would be like I say, I'd be out and he would always find me, because they would have probably like 3 different things going on, and he would always find where I was. And he would do stuff smart, you know. At first he would do stuff smart, like probably like bend my hand back when he see me, he tried to like pull back my fingers. I remember one time he bust off my hand chain that I had on my hand. Like stuff that people, like he didn't want people to know that he was abusing me at first. And then it just got, I think when we actually broke up is when it really got physical. That he didn't care who saw.
So, okay, so I'm gonna be a little bit of the devil's advocate here. How long were you with him for?
Total probably like 4 or 5 years.
So why stay? Like, because it's like, okay, you getting lashed like excuse me, like, like part of fucking you off, like the realest kind of way. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, why stay? And why put up with that? Like, if you getting blows, right? The natural thing to do.
But that's why I said abuse became like that, physically like that, to that point when I left. Before I
So
left,
when you get hit over the head, that was
I had already broken up with him. We had already broken up. So we were living together, and I moved back home. So
you were living together while you were broken up?
No, that's what I said.
Okay, I'm confused.
No.
Okay.
I had already broken up with him, and I was going home, back to my house where I was originally. So that's why I said it got worse when I decided to leave. Because when we were together, it would be more verbal, more like just pushing me down, hiding the phones, doing stuff like that, and threatening me. You know, like it was more like that. It really got bad when I left. It got really bad.
The most dangerous time in an abusive relationship is when the victim decides to leave. That's when it gets really dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why you have to plan.
You know, I think just from listening to this, one thing that I've realized is that sometimes people seem to look at possession, or the person loves you, or it loves you, they want you as love. And that ain't love.
Yes,
and
but
we tend to mix that up a little too much. And
true that, but remember, there's several reasons why people stay in abusive relationships. You've been threatened. Leave me, I will kill you. And some will go as far saying, if you leave me, I'll kill myself.
I mean, you could kill yourself.
You don't want to be responsible for that.
I ain't responsible. That's your business.
When I say
you kill yourself.
When I say responsible, I mean you don't want to have that on your conscience.
It's not going to be on my conscience at all.
You've already been conditioned. You have been conditioned.
I couldn't give half a...
Sometimes religion. You go to the pastor, you all go to the pastor, and instead of the pastor telling you, run for the hills, they tell you, you know, where God said and the Bible said.
You know, I'm going to touch on that topic real quick. So now listen, I grew up in church. Right? My father is a pastor, okay? So that's full disclosure here. So I understand church. Now, a lot of y'all pastors, they'll be willingly putting people in danger with that bullshit.
True.
Willingly talking about, oh, I can't get divorced. The Bible says you can't. Which part?
It does have.
Show me.
It does have stuff where
it says you can get divorced. Listen.
Reasons.
When you try and tell people that God's so wicked that if you end up with somebody you're not supposed to, you're supposed to get beat up for the rest of your life?
No.
Kill the person and go prison? You know what? But continue.
But you're right.
It's nonsense though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think what we tend to do too much is literally we make our decisions based on the opinions of other people.
Yep. Not all the time, because I had to make decisions because I had young kids at the time. Also,
I literally think that is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse, but as I said, the difference is I left when I saw where it was going. I made a decision to leave. My kids were young when I left them. You understand? Because I didn't want my kids to see, me accepting that and think that it was okay. So I left. But like I said, even though leaving, that doesn't save you from being abused. When you go out in the street and you have to run into this person because it's a small island.
See, I think
because
people tell you get a temporary restraining order.
I think you should get a firearm license. I really think. What restraint?
The thing is,
listen, if you pop somebody a shot in their foot, right, they can't run after you, Right? They just can't. But
we're not gonna fight violence with violence.
No. To everybody out there, we if you believe that you should not fight violence with violence, you don't have to take my advice. Definitely, that is the right thing to do what she's saying. But being me, right? Being me. I have a philosophy when I was growing up. Don't hit nobody and don't make nobody hit you. And in some cases, just some, not all of them, just some people need an ass whooping. Like there's a fine line between taking bullshit and getting lashes, okay? Now you ain't beating them up or you ain't lashing them because you want to. Now, if somebody slap you, spit on you. I mean, y'all could try and say you're being like Jesus and turn the other cheek. But you gotta remember something. Jesus himself was part God, was God in human flesh. Yeah. I am just flesh. So that part of me that goes
the flesh part.
No, I'm just saying, right? When I turn one, if I get slapped and I turn the cheek, it hurt. And my brain gonna be like, you know, no, I'm not promoting violence, right? I'm not promoting violence. But what I really want to kind of get to is because we know that people get abused financially, physically, mentally. Like, what solutions or advice do you all have, being that you guys have been through and even worked with?
Speak out on it.
Speak out?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
so we
important.
have to take it out of the under the mat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The shame.
And put it outside the door.
You know, people shame.
We
people
have
talk
to
about
stop being ashamed, especially men.
Yeah.
You have to talk about it. That's the only way it's gonna stop.
I think too that I think we have to teach. Well, I guess both parties. We really have conversations about it. Because I don't think men really learn like really how you're supposed to treat a woman, and mostly sometimes because they haven't been brought up with a man in the house, you know, so they don't really know. Okay, it's not right to do this. So sometimes, majority of the times too, they saw their mother being abused. Because with his situation, he saw his mother.
I don't think it's not just women, not just men alone. I think in general, we as a society, we don't know how to have a relationship.
True. I was just going to mention that. A healthy relationship. We know how to have relationships. Toxic ones.
No, we know how to fuck. That's all.
To learn
we don't know how to have a relationship.
Healthy relationships. We have to know what we want in a relationship. A lot of us will just settle because our friends have man, our friends have woman, and we still a virgin, and we don't want to be a virgin, and whatever other reasons. And so we settle. And a lot of times when we settle for what the opposite of what it is we really want. So we need to have values. We need to know what a healthy relationship is. You have to have communication. You have to have trust.
Communication.
Jealousy is not part of a healthy relationship. And kids tell me all the time, but Miss John Baptist, you must have a little jealousy in every relationship. That's wrong. No, darling. No. And a lot of our young people think that you have to have a little jealousy in a relationship.
You have to have it, but you are. But it's something it's a normal thing for people. Not that it's
normal.
You have to have, because they have normal or people have emotions.
The only jealousy that is righteous is the jealousy of God.
Not exactly, but
exclusive devotion.
But what I'm saying is that sometimes we have to make it okay for people to express how they really feel and have a conversation about it.
What does that have to do with jealousy?
We're talking about jealousy. We're talking about that. That's a natural thing that people feel. We grew up.
Well, we need
see,
to
my brother have
this.
How come I don't have? That's what I'm saying. So you gotta have the conversation. So it's something that's natural, that's in us, that probably we need to work on.
Well, we need to talk to our young people a lot, because the majority of them believe that. When I go do presentations, if I'm talking about healthy relationships, Miss John Baptist, you must have a little jealousy in every relationship. If you see you talking to somebody else and hello, really?
You know,
I think that's nonsense.
I think we got too much retarded people walking around. sorry, Thomas. I really don't think we got too much retarded. Like they just got you're just stupid.
They're
Okay.
uneducated.
You don't have to be.
Uneducated.
No. Let me tell you why I disagree.
Why?
You do not have to be smart to know that is dumb.
No, listen.
You could be.
How many of
You
us?
could just born and know that know that is nonsense.
How many of us grew up in a healthy relationship?
Huh?
How many of us grew up seeing a healthy relationship?
Okay, I could say I've grown up seeing a healthy relationship.
Okay. Good
So
for you.
I'm probably not part of this boat.
Yeah.
Right? But I could say, being that my father, we had like businesses, so we interacted with people, and we saw, like growing up, my father had my parents had a little supermarket. So it was a village supermarket. So everybody drama you see in there. Sometimes I just be like, and other times like,
Yeah.
You see, everybody's not as fortunate as you are.
I-
The majority
I
of us
understand.
grew up in homes where we didn't see healthy relationships. They were either cussing each other, or they beating up on each other,
this
or
sounds
they
foreign
doing
for you.
all kinds of stuff.
so you're
to each
telling me
other.
that stuff is normal
It's not.
to most
Yes,
people.
It's normal.
Well,
It's normal,
It's
yes,
normal, but
yes,
it's
because
wrong.
when
Right.
you grow up in those things, you think it's normal. That is your
No,
normal.
you know it's wrong.
That is
but how
your
do you
normal.
break yourself away from it if you don't have a conversation? That's why I say lack of communication is why we are where we are as a community. Because we don't talk about stuff. You know, we don't have conversations about, even like you said, relationships. Everybody wants to talk about their feelings, but they don't want to hear what the other person is feeling. Everybody just want to be heard. So nobody don't want to say, well, okay, well, you feel that way? Okay, well, you know, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. But, you know, like, that's just how it is. Everybody just care about how they feel about a situation. And they don't care about the other person's feelings.
See,
And a
the
lot
thing
of
is,
us too, we care too much about what people think.
right, I think that those two factors is what create most societal problems.
We
You care too
about
much
what
what people think, and you have a lack of empathy. And in some cases, emotional intelligence.
Yes.
We don't seem to have much of that.
I agree.
Like understanding how to literally conversate, or even if we disagree upon something,
Yeah.
how to have that discussion without feeling like,
Not taking it personally.
yeah, because if you have to take something personal about someone's opinion, you got a problem. And that's really it. If somebody say, oh, I don't like so and so, or I don't do this and that, or I don't like that, that's offensive to me. Why should I give half of a what? Sorry. Why should I care? Why should I care about your little pet peeve or what? I don't know you. I don't know you. And I don't start to care tomorrow. Unless you give me a reason to, if we have a conversation, then it's like, okay, bam, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But don't just open your mouth like I'm supposed to magically see inside your head,
Yes.
go into the past, and have this magic crystal ball where I know what's going on.
And that's the thing, and that's why I said communication is so important, because what might bother you might not bother me. You might do something and like, hey, you go right ahead, and then I might do it and you be like, wait, what are you doing?
You know,
So we have to understand that everybody have their own feelings, and
another thing I hear a lot: honesty. Honesty leads to trust. And my young people out there don't understand the honesty part.
I don't think people like honesty.
I don't think people can handle honesty.
Well, we have to learn to.
Because I tend to be honest.
Me too.
But that's
And-
my
And I
biggest, that's
get
my
it.
biggest problem
No,
for
you
doing
see,
that.
I guess I don't care.
But listen, being
Simply
honest and
because-
just talking.
No, because it's honesty with empathy.
Yeah.
Because, like, say for instance, say if I see somebody, or let's say a friend of mine, they wear an outfit, and it obviously looks bad on them, right? Like, that, obviously, not like, okay, that's not my opinion. Like, like 50 blind man could tell you shouldn't wear this thing, right? What I will do, I ain't gonna be like, yeah, big man, that what happened to your partner? You see how you look? No, I ain't gonna be like that. I'm gonna be like, yo, come. I'm gonna put it to the side, and I'm gonna be like, hey, what you have on, look, that really ain't fitting what you're wearing. And I don't tell you what the problem is without trying to help you find a solution.
Yeah.
I think most people, we tend to want to just
Yeah.
Give the
say,
negative part.
no, just run on mouth. Because
Yes.
obviously, okay, if I'm going through something, I see something wrong, I don't need you to tell me that.
Exactly.
But if you point it out, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't think this fit well, but listen, let me run to the store real quick,
Yeah.
and let's get you something proper,
I
you know?
That's true.
And I help you pick, because I will respect you more if you do that for me,
I agree.
because I expect you to do the same back to me.
Than to
Yeah.
talk behind my back.
Yeah, because most,
I agree. I agree.
and I think even when it comes to that, is really understanding how to treat people, then we understand how exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that starts I guess for me, that's where I think it starts the process of really, because if you care for someone and you understand how to treat people the way you would want to be treated, then most of this bullshit that happens won't happen.
Yeah, you gotta start having a conversation.
Agreed.
We gotta take ego out though.
Yeah, some people need to, and some people need to be taught a little lesson. And I ain't saying hit nobody.
You come back to this violence.
I ain't saying, no, I ain't saying violence. No, like say for instance, right? Like with the financial, no, don't say I tell you to do this, okay? Like say with the financial part, right? Like okay, I will, like with me, I'll go over to the boss and be like, hey, so I want you to just stop sending his paychecks for the next month. I said, wait, what? No money coming in, and you need me to go and get a job now? Yeah? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, but it's, once you put value on yourself, you know, you probably won't even need to get to that point.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to learn to treat each other. But at the top, I would say I'm a little passionate about people treating people right.
Here at Boolchand's, we would like to commemorate our 90 years with you. Here's to the great moments, to the great adventures, to the great challenges, the good times and the bad times, to the great lessons, to the great friendships, and to the greatest love. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your life's journey. Near you, with you. Boolchand's 90 years. Thanks to you, with you.
Now, if you're on the island, you live here or you're vacationing, make sure you guys go for the best beach and island experience, Funtime Jetski and charter services, right out there in Limburg Bay. They got the best deals on jet ski rentals and the best deals on charter. They take you everywhere. Water Island, St. John, Joost Van Dyke, it doesn't matter. You want to go there, they take you there. And they got the best deals right now. You follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and you make that phone call now today. And with this code that you see down here, what we're drinking, you get 10% off. So you make that call, you schedule for you and your friends for the best on-water experience that you could imagine. Make sure you guys check out Funtime Jetski and charter services. Alright, now, as we come to a close, you know, I'm gonna keep you guys here too long. I want y'all to kind of tell people when going through stuff like domestic violence, sexual assault, and abuse, where they could get help, and also what they can do like right now if they're in a situation like that.
Call the police.
Okay.
The Family Resource Center on St. Thomas helps victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. If you need to get out, you would have to call the police, 911, and then if you need somewhere to stay, you really need to get out of the house, they'll contact Family Resource Center on St. Thomas and St. John. On St. Croix, it would be the Women's Coalition of St. Croix. And same thing, call the call the police. If you need somewhere to spend the night, if you need to get out of a situation, please call 911 and then have them contact either Women's Coalition on St. Croix, Family Resource Center on St. Thomas, and they have the shelters, or the safe houses as the correct name, and they'll help you out. Women and children, they put up at the safe house. Men, they put up at the safe hotel. So it's not just about females. Males are also helped.
Y'all have any other advice?
Listen, you have a lot of fellows out there that going through this and they themselves need to stand up and talk to somebody about this. Seek help. Don't be afraid. This ain't just about women alone. This is both men and women, your children, your family. If you know somebody, see something, try to reach out and help them. At first, nobody don't like the help, but at the end, they'll be thankful for it.
I need to make a correction here. My friend Mr. Ricardo acts like males and females are getting abused at the same rate. No, they're not.
But listen, we got a lot of males out there getting abused.
Males are getting abused, but the majority of victims of domestic violence
that is reported of females.
Are females.
That's being reported.
Are females.
That's being reported.
I think that's completely irrelevant.
That's being reported.
I think that's completely irrelevant. Abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter the gender.
It's true.
That's irrelevant.
No, but the majority of...
I mean, even if the majority
we talk about gender violence.
Like if the majority of dogs that die is mongrels, is dogs still dying? It's irrelevant.
And that's
I agree. Both males and females need help, but
what
we
about
don't
kids?
want...
Because we're talking about just male and
But
female.
I did mention kids.
Kids together.
I mentioned
too.
kids.
Especially, listen,
So,
if you know your mother or your father getting beat, right, by your mother or your father, you know, just when you go to school, tell the teacher, call the police or something, you know.
sure.
Because a lot of children a lot smarter nowadays than parents. I mean, I'm just,
And that's true.
you know.
Yeah.
Everybody got cell phone.
And statistically, we get smarter every generation.
Child abuse is for another show.
Yeah, that's a whole.
That's a whole other
Next
show.
time you'll hear about child abuse, you know, just look out for that episode. Make sure you subscribe. Highlight TV and what we're drinking. That way you could know what's coming up.
And link Beautifully Divine on Facebook.
Right, we'll put the link right below so you can see what's going on. Again, seriously, if you in help and you need help, you call someone, call 911, reach out to someone that you know that could help you. Not someone that you believe you trust, someone that you know can help you. Okay? And really help. Not about someone that go and run you around the bush or gonna try someone that gonna really help. It is not a shame to reach out for help. Male, female, child, it doesn't matter. Reach out for help. Listen.
The life you save might be your own.
You never know. Exactly. So, make sure you guys follow Beautifully Defined, Facebook, Instagram. The link is down here. And make sure you check out the Family Resource Center if you are in need and you're in that situation. Again, I thank you guys for tuning in to What We're Drinking. And I will see you all next week.